You out there? You listening?
Oi, oi! Follow me, colony! We're now transmitting live from deep inside the hive. My name is Antz, and I love movies! Every single ant has got a specific role to play and has certain responsibilities within our little underground society. But I am a little bit different, for I am a watcher. I do most of the heavy lifting whilst watching and learning from all of the stories and experiences I get from the movies, and I use that information to keep the hive alive. It's my job to investigate, inspect and dissect. I use stolen equipment and media entertainment that we take from your homes while you sleep. Your Blu-ray collection is basically food at a picnic to us.
Surprising even local exterminators like Chet Roland.
I've never seen nothing like this.
Infesting everything from homes and businesses to, get this, even electronics. Turns out these little hairy ants have expensive taste. Roland says they're attracted to heat-producing devices like computers and smartphones.
You may recognize me from TV. Now, I have created a bounty of stolen movies since my larval stage, and I am very well versed in the history of tall tales committed to celluloid. But to understand where I'm coming from, I'm going to have to take you back and give you a quick crash course in the history of my hive. This is my story. Ever since I can remember, film has just been the art form that I naturally gravitate towards. Now, don't get me wrong, I love books, music, video games, and of course live shows. If I'm going to be honest, I love them all. But movies have always been a series of endless possibilities and worlds that I could just escape to. I find genuine joy, solace, entertainment and catharsis through the amazing adventures that have been put on screen over the decades. I feel truly privileged and grateful because I love the illusion of the big and the small screen.
Now, where was I?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to South East London, home of the hive. My home. Quick side note, you know how every town's got their little local legend? This is Catford Fritz. If you know, you know. Some people, for better or worse, can become a cornerstone of a place, just like a landmark.
Yeah, man, Fritz, bud.
But that's a story for another time. In Catford, South East London, during the 80s and 90s, we had a little rundown movie theatre, Catford Cinema. I've got loads of fond memories of our Queen taking us to see movies like Explorers, starring Ethan Hawke, and Big, starring Tom Hanks, and of course, Transformers. I remember sitting before that screen literally crying my eyes out as a kid when Optimus Prime was fatally wounded by Megatron while he was trying to save Hot Rod. In retrospect, it is kind of funny, because I realise now that all that happened was just that the animator stopped colouring Optimus Prime in. But nevertheless, he turned grey, and our leader was slain. And to my child's brain, I would never be the same again.
I must break you.
Rocky 4.
Now, the fourth installment in the Rocky franchise was another shock to my very core when Apollo Creed was punched in the head so hard by the Russian juggernaut Ivan Drago, he fell to the canvas with fatal brain damage. Seeing Creed's legs spasm like that, to be honest, it was my first scary movie experience that I can recall. I didn't quite know exactly what it meant, I just knew it meant something bad. I looked to the Queen for some sort of explanation, but all I heard was...
He dies.
I looked up at her. She looked down at me. She blinked, looked down by our feet, and then just looked back at the screen.
Technology. Technology.
Home video was big in the Hive. I remember Betamax that later gave way to VHS, and I'll never forget the evening that the Queen awoke me, in secret, on a school night, to watch No Retreat, No Surrender, starring an unknown at the time Jean-Claude Van Damme as the Russian antagonist with the Belgian accent. It was nearly midnight and I was so tired. The all is lost moment was upon us, but the adrenaline made my eyelids say,
No retreat! No surrender!
When it comes to the early days of the Hive, I have such fond memories of a more innocent time. Very fond memories indeed.
Kiss me, fat boy!
I remember my 8th birthday in 1988. The Queen gave me my first movie as a present from a tiny family-owned video rental store called Concord Video in Brockley Rise, SE4. And that movie was The Karate Kid. This was the beginning of a lifetime obsession, collecting VHS tapes that would later give way to Laserdiscs, DVDs, and of course Blu-rays. Mostly obsolete now due to streaming services, but in my humble opinion, you cannot beat the benefits you get from the special features on a physical disc and tangible hardware. Let's talk about VHS. These chunky little blocks of magic-filled plastic needed top loading, tracking, and as all 80s kids remember, the cardinal sin, rewind search would eat the tape. Fast forward to the 90s. Just before all of our local movie houses closed down to give way to the barrage of multiplexes that were soon to come, I made friends with a movie usher from the Catford Cinema. His name was Nam, and he was actually from Vietnam.
Vietnam!
With a Cockney accent straight out of a Guy Ritchie flick.
That's fucking it, says the geezer. That's fucking what, says Rory. And he gobs out a mouthful of booze covering Fatty. He flicks a flaming match into his bird's nest and the geezer's lit up like a leaking gas pipe.
We talked about all the movies, the ones we liked, the ones we didn't like, and then one day when he saw me coming home from school, he said to me,
Oh, what happened to your friend?
He was cool and he said that any time I wanted to sneak my friends into an 18-rated flick, like Bad Boys or horror movies like Alien Resurrection, then he would just sneak us in through the fire escape. We saw tons of movies for free over the course of those few years, and for a while, good times. As I left the pupa stage in 1999 and on the cusp of being a young adult, I got a job in Blockbuster Video, Croydon. It's a strange job for someone with an exoskeleton, but being a weaver ant and able to lift 100 times your own body weight comes in handy, and it has its advantages.
We are employees of the Quick Stop Convenience and RST Video, respectively. As such, we have certain obligations, though they may seem cruel and unusual, does mean manning the store until close.
It was a perfect fit, literally. I used to hide and wait in the Dropbox for customers to post back their rentals, only for me to push the DVD case back onto the street by their feet.
These practices are standard operating procedure.
There's a difference. Those are obligations. Obligations that couldn't be met at any other date.
Standard procedures. Baffled and confused, the customers would then pick it back up and post it back through the letterbox, only this time to see it get grabbed out of their grasp and dragged back into the Dropbox. These were sometimes the videos that I took home myself.
Now renting videos, that's just gratuitous, not to mention illogical, being that you work at a video store.
Are you open?
Yes.
You know what? I don't think I care for your rationale.
I would then proceed to flapping the letterbox up and down like a hungry mouth from within the Dropbox.
What's your point?
My point is, you're a clerk, paid to do a job. You can't just do anything you want while you're working.
Space alien revealed as head of Time Warner. Reports stock increase.
I'd shout, yum, that was delicious, you have good taste in flicks.
So your argument is that title dictates behavior.
What?
The reason you won't let me use your car is because I have a title and a job description. I'm supposed to follow it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I saw one time that said, the next week the world is ending. And in the next week's paper they said, we were miraculously saved at the 0 hour by a koala fish mutant bird. Crazy shit.
So I'm no more responsible for my decisions here than, say, a death squad soldier in Bosnia?
Oh, no, that's stretching it. You're not being asked to slay children or anything.
Yeah, not yet.
And I remember one time in his I'm gonna break your fucking head, you fucking jerk!
I'm sorry, he meant to hit me.
Yeah, well, he missed.
Yeah, I know. Here, let me refund your money and we'll call it even, all right?
I'll never come in here again. And if I see you again, I'm gonna break your fucking head open.
What the fuck?
Sometimes I would hear the customers and my co-workers laugh hysterically. Other times, they would just call me pathetic, walk away and huff and puff. But if life in the colony has taught me anything, is that this is a numbers game. And I was D. Block Bastard.
Title does not dictate behavior.
What?
If title dictated my behavior as a clerk serving the public, I wouldn't be allowed to spit water at that guy. But I did. So my point is that people dictate their own behavior. Even though I work in a video store, I choose to go rent movies at Big Choice. Agreed?
You are a danger to both the dead and the living.
I like to think I'm a master of my own destiny.
Please get the hell out of here.
I know I'm your hero.
Most customers were annoying, my boss was a prick, and the pay sucked. But life as a video clerk was low maintenance, educational, very easy, and if I'm going to be totally honest, a hell of a lot of fun.
Trust the insect.
Welcome back to the underground. That was the story of my youth. Maybe you and your colony can relate. Or maybe your story is completely different to mine. With that in mind, I'm well aware that countless content creators have already reviewed most of these movies over the past decade. What I'm doing here is nothing new, and I'm certainly not trying to reinvent the wheel. That being said, every time I enthusiastically analyse, break down and dissect a movie to a friend, colleague or family member, I'm always met with the same response. You should do something with this knowledge and energy. So, after years of procrastination, I have finally decided to readjust my antenna and focus on what I should be doing, not just what I was assigned to do. So welcome to the hive. This is the nest. And here together, we're going to inspect and dissect. I will be picking a motion picture, discussing the team that brought it to us, giving you a brief plot summary before branching into spoiler territory. Being truly critical is acknowledging the film's shortcomings as well as its virtues. I will be brutal with the truth.
Insects don't have politics. They're very brutal. No compassion. No compromise.
Of course, along the way, we're going to be finding those Easter eggs together, as well as that trivia we all love so much. I will then proceed to give my overall opinion and final verdict on the movie in question, reviewing and often revisiting the film just for your viewing pleasure. Now, with that in mind, we're going to need a score system. At the end of the day, if the movie is bad, or even has good intentions, but ultimately falls short in the overall execution, it will be dubbed a clanger, an attack on the hive. But if the film is good, even with imperfections, it will be dubbed a banger, and we will have a little ant dance to celebrate. But when it comes to the good, the bad and the ugly, there's levels to this shit. Both clangers and bangers will be given a 3-point grading system. On the strength meter, we have minor, middle, and major bangers. And on the flip side, we have major, middle, and minor clangers.
Well, duh.
Now, this is all just this lowly insect's humble opinion, as all art is subjective. I watch some clangers just for entertainment purposes, in a so bad it's good kind of way. And I've also watched many box office and critical successes that ultimately bored the shit out of me. Proving anything can happen when at the movies. To summarise, I pledge my talents to the Queen to remain subjective and objective at all times for the safety and integrity of the nest, and always for the colony. Remember, we are social creatures who are born to swarm, so you can buzz me in the comments from dusk till dawn. Make sure you hit the bell, like and subscribe, and keep the hive alive!